Hello everyone and welcome back to Wargame Red Dragon. We're here today for a 2v2 where I'm trying out something a little bit despicable. It is a Scandinavian rush. So we have Loro 106s leading the way, a bunch of motorized forces headed up there, and then M4 1A1s, more and more of them, some Dragoner and M113Gs, and finally an automatic and a couple of tanks, as well as some better infantry in the CV9030Ns. And the idea is basically you smack as hard as you can into this corner of Alpha, and then fight over the woods. And it seems a little bit weird, but it's been done to me before, so I cannot claim credit for the original idea, and well, it's usually reasonably effective. So I also do have a Beacon 1C back here, and my ally is going to be the Colonel, Jumo, and he has actually been on the channel before as my opponent, so it was nice to play on the same side as him. You can see the Heritu by this Chinese player, I'm assuming, anyway, just trying to run back, and we actually get him with the NM45, so, well, not quite yet. But that's all going well and good. Now here's the thing. The reason that this is encountering as little resistance as it is because both of my opponents are fighting right now in Gulf, or at least the majority of their forces. So we have some men over in this town, just saw them get there, and that's going to mean that we're going to be dropping off our Fallskärmjäger, and we're going to be moving up now into the woods, pressuring through here, as well as starting a firefight on that side, because if both of my opponents are headed for Jumo, he's going to have one hell of a time no matter how good of a player, and he is a very good one, because it's just too many points, too much of being outnumbered. We are already counter-firing, and we will get a couple of kills there with that, I think, but, I mean, Beacons didn't really have any other stable targets at this point, so Proletari, Lecha Pechota, they're trying to stand in our way, but the Fallskärmjäger 90 do not care, and of course their 15 strength squads make this a bit of an easier sort of duel, because Lecha Pechota, I mean, both of these are shock squads, the Fallskärmjäger 90 and the Lecha, but, I mean, we have more men, we have the IMG3, so the RPK, and I don't know if it's not as much of an edge as, say, the Mini-Me, but I'm not complaining. And T-72 M1 Jaguar is in the wrong neck of the woods, because as soon as I get some infantry up here and forward, we should be able to make short work of that. And right now, Jumo is holding very well. We do have a plane coming in from the Chinese player, and there's a lot of pressure here. There's Lecha, there's SPW-80, there's a whole combined arms push coming in this side, and Yebegun and Habyung 90 are trying to hold it off, but a Super Galib coming in, and it looks like they may have already gotten Jumo's heavy tank, and or he didn't quite call one out at the beginning, I don't quite remember, my apologies. Mi-35 with those Kokon missiles will be pretty devastating, but we actually get some good fire support of our own off the Scout Defender, and it has been a while since I've done one of these recordings I've been so happy about, so I hope you guys can hear the enthusiasm in my voice, but I've often been told that my serious voice, joking voice, and enthusiastic voice are all the same, so, well, such is life. Anyway, a bit of a steep troll toll here being paid by Jumo, and you can see Specialny Jednotki are still trying to push up, the Yebegun meat shields are doing okay, but I have managed to push my way into these woods. The Mi-35 is a little unfortunate. My automatic decided to, instead of pathing this way, like I told him, go up and through the buildings, which denied him line of sight until just then, so a little bit delayed, killing that helicopter more than we should have been. L-15M coming in, and I'm not sure what he was targeting, but he does unfortunately make it back out, and this is really turning into a problem. We also have some napalm artillery going through, and that T-72 is going to make short work of anything that's not armored. Peace Pheasant 2, I do love these guys. They can stick around long enough to get 2 volleys off, and unfortunately, that did seem to be the plan, but we have an ASF chasing an L-19, wonderful air superiority fighter, and down goes the Peace Pheasant 2. So at this point, I'm sitting there thinking, okay, well, we have Bravo, reasonably. I have more reinforcements coming in here to Alpha, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, maybe I can push up and around this side, but we encounter Motschützen 90, and they will get the M4 1A1s, but we will get some revenge on them as well. Fallskärmjäger 90 are in a position to move into the woods, so that's what they do. Yeah, they're a bit damaged, but this is pretty far away from home, and I didn't want to wait to resupply them. But my way of trying to help my ally now is not direct fire right there in Gulf, but it's to pull their reinforcements away. You can see that already working with the Motschützen 90 and the T-72 M1 Jaguars. Bit of an unfortunate thing there, we did lose a fair number of Fallskärmjäger and the XA-186NO, so you can see a deposit the other group in the town, and we're going to be moving them up when there's no longer as much direct fire. Good placement on the T-72 M1 Jaguars. Only thing is, high rate of fire does benefit you pretty well here, and the T-72, I mean, 8 rounds a minute is not actually exceptional. This is why I actually love defending this side as Scandi, because the high rate of fire on the 103D can be really nice, even though it is reasonably cost inefficient. You surround this guy with a couple of M41A1s, and there you go. So, Velskity Stab, and that is going to be command infantry immediately spotted by Jumo and marked, by the way. So, my beacon is going to be aiming here in just a second as that Stab. Yep, there it is. There's the attack marker, and double pinging it just to be certain. And we were chatting as well during the game, and I already told him, yep, on the way. So, Fallskirmjäger 90 moving forward, 1, 2, 3, 4 squads here, including a very damaged double squad. Probably should retreat these guys back, honestly, but I was thinking we need to get into this side of the woods, stop them from reinforcing into this section, maybe get those T-72s if I can, and I mean, if we can decap Golf, that's a pretty significant tax. In the meantime, I have Dragoner M113Gs as well. Pushing up here, I was hoping maybe they wouldn't have much reinforced here. I might be able to thread through into these woods, become just a pain in the ass to shake loose, and the 186 NOs, never underestimate the Browning. I mean, we're getting sustained fire, that does have the possibility of doing something. The Beacon, taking a break from counter-firing their artillery, is going in after the enemy command infantry, which we do get the kill on that, and it was very, very nice. If you guys like those kill lists, stick around for this one. The Beacon 1C is pretty good, but there's a double stack of Praskas here. They're getting tired of the air support coming in from Jumo, Osa AKM as well, and these guys do also deny helicopter play decently well. 33-25 meter range is very nice, and it's not something you can underestimate, but we do spot command infantry here, and I actually already had the Fighting Falcon out. So my intention was we either bomb here, or if I spot something juicy, we turn and do that instead. So the Fighting Falcon all the way over on that side is going to be letting loose that giant carpet of 1,000 kilogram bombs. I always love to see this. Let's take a look. And there we go. There was a little bit of a damage marker there, and Hotel is decapped, so we've not only cleared Golf, but actually Hotel as well of their command vehicles, and that's going to be at least 215, more like 240 points worth of tax there for the Red 4 team, which is very nice. I mean, we did need it. This side is looking decently devastated, but my side is just, for right now anyway, doing all right. So we have the CV9030Ns. I only wish they had more ammunition on the Bushmaster 2s, but we're trying to make do with what we got. Fallskirmjäger, unfortunately spotted by a Prom S. That is going to be a brutal shot when it comes in, if it comes in, but just at the last second blocked by the trees. So, I mean, that was okay, but Dragoner can't fight there against LSTR, and my STRV is not going to be particularly thrilled with this either. So usually what you can do is you can try and get the LSTR to engage Dragoner first, but since they don't have a tertiary, they'll still fire their secondary at the STRV 103D. So they take a shot, luckily for me they miss, and that's going to be immediately retreated back. Yeah, well, come on. Move, dude. Hello, my friend. You were a beautiful tank. But, yeah, not the right place for you. So he's moving back, M41A1 scout tank moving up instead, and I'm trying to pressure in here, but my offensive was really designed for Alpha, it wasn't really designed to move past it, and my opponent's fire support here could be very problematic. Also, plain loitering back there, I was afraid that was going to be Seed. It was instead a Super Gallop, and that's going to be a dead STRV. So a couple of mistakes here, and I'm starting to lose some points decently quickly. Automatic shooting in the Super Gallop, we get most of it, but not all of it, and the guns immediately turned off, just trying to manage that micro. We do also have to move them, because the counterfire was pretty tremendous. In the meantime, a Kiyomarushiki buy from Jumo, and he's just trying to defend here, as still we have both players still pushing in a little bit on that side, but now they are both answering here as well. That was a seaplane, so the cautious play off the automatic was probably wise, and Motschützen 90 versus Fallskirmjäger is going to be a little bit rough, especially because of the, well, increasing amounts of fire support. All of this was just fresh reinforcements, one after the next after the next, and the M84AN had me worried. This is a beautiful, beautiful tank. 110 points, yes, but it's a beautiful tank nonetheless, and my M41A1s are getting themselves spotted. Fallskirmjäger probably shouldn't have been moving up that far now, probably should have been falling back a little bit. These guys are very expensive, and I've started to kind of bleed a little bit here, trying to secure Alpha. In the meantime, we have capped Bravo, we are taking at a +3, so 104 points on the board is very nice. But really, unless we can capitalize on it a bit more, it's still going to be a bit of a wait. Scout Defenders moving forward, double stack of Ihawks moving up, and, you know, for a while I've really liked Ihawks, and then now I'm kind of not really liking them all that much. I mean, the 50% base accuracy, you really do feel it. So much as people say, I mean, oh, it's only 10% different, well, yeah, you feel it. Double stacks of Ihawks do not get kills as reliably as the improved Hawk Pip 3s or things like that with higher base accuracy and potentially even higher veterancy. So STRV is coming up here. My hope was just to see if I could ambush the M84AN. If you got close enough, engage with some infantry first and then get the shots there. But Jäger 90 also moving up, and a infantry CV called for Alpha, because if I can turn that into, well, it would have been a +4, but Hotel has been recapped. I have no presence there anymore, so that's going to be a constant thing, and I want this to be ticking quickly. So if we can get it up to a +2, that's fine. In the meantime, let's look at the rest of the board. So, a bunch of reinforcements here for Jumo, but mostly still loaded into their transports. I didn't quite get this at the time, it'll make sense later. But I didn't quite get it then. And my automatic providing direct fire support, or no, actually that's the M41s. Yes, here we go, the automatic providing direct fire support, and this may end up being a little bit unwise. I mean, just the amount of counterfire here from their artillery was just huge. Really was impressive. Yeah. But usually I think this is going to be he's trying to get an offensive going, so he wants them all in the vehicles so he can deposit them sort of halfway across the field. And that is reasonable, that is something you see relatively often. But between the Ihawks here and the automatic, I was feeling relatively safe. Lynx is about to drop off those infantry, and let's speed things up just a bit as there is a bit of a lull. You'll see it quite often. It's not really the craziest thing to have a bit of a lull, even in sort of quicker games. And this is a quicker game, and we only have 22 minutes on the clock for the full thing, but there is now a counteroffensive coming in, and it's the Chinese player mostly. The BVP M80As are going to get shot by an STRV, but this was a mistake. So I needed the first shot to kill the M84AN. If I don't get it, my STRV 103D loses. The Jäger moving up, STRV moving back, and the M80A was not worth it. That's 15 points. It's not exactly what I wanted to see. However, my ally has spotted their fobs, and this is a little bit cheeky play, I suppose, is a good way of putting it, but yeah, here we go. So this is the offensive. Yebagun in the K200s just moved up brute force, trying to get a foothold here as the Q Marashiki sits back there and just takes shot after shot after shot. I only wish there were a couple cheaper light tanks here. The Blue Dragon's options don't have great autonomy, but they do have a lot of capability, and in the meantime, this smoke needs to be just ever present, because here comes a Super Gallop, and if we can't get back into that smoke, that's going to be a fierce price to pay, almost into it, and evac ordered as the enemy team did lose sight. But Seaplane gets a KM radar AA gun, and we are now fending off this offensive here reasonably well. Jäger are getting some good kills. M84A pushing up is a little bit worrisome. I don't have a tank on this side to fight it. My CV9030 ends just kind of sitting here like dorks. I retreated them backwards out of the woods, but no real success there. And the Ihawk, I mean, let's look at that. First volley, second volley. We do get a hit, and automatic, trying to get the kill, does get the kill. Down goes that plane. So all in all, very nice. But the automatic does get killed in response by the M84A. So, I mean, we killed their seaplane, we still lost the automatic. Worth it, arguably, but it was not the most comfortable price. In the meantime, I mean, Jumo's just showing how it's done here with Yebagun. Just endless lines of militia pushing up, and these guys are actually reasonably hard to kill. Harder than you would think to kill with infantry too. I don't know what it is, but for some reason they definitely are. STRV now engaging on this side, but LSTR-40, they're pretty dangerous, and we're shooting at the wrong target, so a side shot takes down my tank. I was a very sad man, and they're retreating out of the way as well, allowing the Mi-17 to punish my infantry. All in all, very well coordinated from Pegasus here, and the Chinese player as well. I mean, good coordination, good teamwork, good fire support, and I definitely paid the price there. But I'm moving some men up into Golf. I was thinking, well, okay, if Jumo's pushing back the edge of Fox, if we then take Golf as well, then we'll have pretty much everything but Delta and Hotel, and this was not actually a kill, I think. It was just Napalm forcing it out, and yep, Delta is recapped. So, if my Dragoner can get a couple of kills here, the M13Gs get a couple of kills here, and just make my opponent nervous a little bit, and then maybe some support from back on that side, we might be able to get both of these zones, and that would be a wonderful, wonderful thing. But M84A and Motostrelchi are making life a little bit difficult. You can see my infantry pulling back. I don't want to keep taking that fire. My Jäger 90 are nearly dead because of it already, and a Fighting Falcon a little bit ahead of where he needed to be. I thought the Motostrelchi would keep advancing, but we do get it. Well, we kill an entire group, so I really have no complaints there. This killed me. This was pretty bad. So my RBS-56 got unloaded. They're both calm, and I'm trying to get the kill on the M84AN. So let's see, first volley, no hits. And that's been happening so often lately, I almost want to just... ATGMs, man. But the M84AN looks like manually switching onto the RBS does get a shot in. Now I'm worried and panicked. We do get one hit, but we needed two to kill this guy, and I mean, there's mortar fire as well. Actually, it looks like a howitzer. And the howitzer takes out my TGMs. Well, this guy is still alive. I was pissed. I was sitting there going, really, how many times will you guys fail on the first volley when that's the volley that I need? Now, in hindsight, I should have just put them into the town. We would have had relatively the same firing angle. They would have stayed alive a lot better, particularly against artillery. Definitely a mistake there, but you know, you do what you can. And the M84A, I mean, we might be able to get some revenge here. Fallskirmjäger will win the fight against LSTR very, very handily. And if we can then move into the woods to retaliate, that should be okay. Syria 30 coming in again, and let's see, Kiyomarushiki is now double stacked on this side, moving back, trying to heal up with cargoes. But, I mean, this offensive is running into some trouble. Yebagun cannot fight against Specialny Jednotki or Proletary 90. They're, I mean, shock and or elite squads with good weapons, and you can definitely see there is a cost being paid here. So we're trying to make the most of it, and I don't know, I mean, I was very confident earlier on, now I'm starting to feel a little bit less so. They're still pushing on the same point for so long, it's kind of impressive. And then if I don't manage to resecure this, that could be very deadly indeed. My Ihawks unfortunately got killed by enemy artillery, and honestly, they didn't really impress me again. I mean, yeah, a few places to hide there. But Fighting Falcon bombs on the way, down they go, and we do get some of the Specialny Jednotki, some of the Motschützen 90, and some of the Proletary 90 as well, so it's a decent chunk taken out of there, and more importantly, we also got away. But there is an M91A V4, this is the big boy, the man himself, 170 points of, well, really big gun and really heavy armor. I love this tank, honestly, I really do. Not many things I think that you can really find to fault it, but Syria 30 is coming in as the V4 is going back, and that smoke is now absolutely vital, but the Kiyomarushikis are moving through it and out of it and onto the other side, splitting, and you guys are going to have to explain that to me. I think it messes with targeting priority, but I don't know. I've heard people referred to as, and I quote, dirty splitters before, and that would make sense. I mean, if it messes with targeting priority, and then he doesn't evac because he's Winchester, then gets killed, like, that would really suck. On the other hand, I don't really know. I mean, it seems like a bit of a weird thing. So tell me if that's something I'm just not aware of, or if that's something that was just, you got lucky. I couldn't tell you. But Mechanizovna are coming in, and my Fighting Falcon coming in again. Bit of a danger close fire mission this time, but I'm trying to clear the way in front of the Kiyomarushikis so they don't have to deal with infantry, and they can use those really good guns on appropriate armored targets. In the meantime, Fallskirmjäger 90 have been able to push through here, but I mean, the use of defensive helicopters was very good this game. Very, very good indeed. My NM45s are too far away, I've lost my automatic, I've lost my Ihawks, and an Mi-17 as well is catching out Dragoner in the open field, so nice kills there. And, I mean, at this point, things are definitely going in our favor. We're up 350 points, and Motschützen 90 are actually outnumbered by Dragoner here on the side. So, Fighting Falcon's going in again. This was a questionable thing, and I evac ordered before I could get the bombs off, just because I second-guessed it. I was going to try and hit the Salamandra, because I'm a mean, spiteful person, and that seemed like the thing to do, but I think they actually moved their CV and Delta in preparation because they saw the Fighting Falcon. It's a little bit goofy. But the NM45 is nearly able to kill the Mi-17 here. Let's see if they can do it, but just out of range. Very lucky Mi-17. You don't often get that sort of save. And my Dragoner, I mean, I think they could probably handle Motschützen 90 on, well, maybe not. It'd be an interesting fight. It would be very costly for the Motschützen 90 against two squads of Dragoner, but they might be able to do it. However, the BMP-2 fire is what's killing me here. I mean, that just wasn't something I could deal with. I just now moved the STRVs out, and a little bit late on that, honestly, but, I mean, that was weird. Usually open field, you'll get more... Yeah, that was a better hit. 3 points of damage on the Motschützen 90, and down to 1. They should be dead. I don't really know what happened with that first shot. It looks like it was almost a half miss. Kind of strange. But with the support here, we should be able to do decently well. Fighting Falcon going out, I get a little bit lucky with the L-19 not quite seeing me until he's stunned and killed, and the Fighting Falcon does get out. Bombs were dropped, and that's going to prompt one surrender, which is going to then prompt the second. So, very well played to my ally Jumo, as well as my opponents, Pegasus and the other player as well. Kills, losses, 38-35 and 25-45. Kind of lopsided for a 20-ish minute game, but it was very intense fighting the whole way around. Fallskirmjäger 90 did very well, pretty much in all circumstances. Automatic did pretty well, that's an Mi-35. Even killed the seaplane, got the last shot there, and T-72 M1 Jaguars. BCAM 1C did surprisingly well. We did kill an Oganj, which I think is... that's the HE one, isn't it? Yeah, should be. And LSTR, a Drug team, Przminski, even a non-Dava, which was kind of impressive, as well as command infantry. So honestly, bring a BCAN 1C. You won't be disappointed. Fighting Falcons did okay, and that's going to be all we've got for you guys today, so thank you all for hanging around, and we'll see you again real soon.